Hello, hello. Tuesday. How about now? God, I'm so terrible at this. Okay. Can you hear me now? Is it working now? Can you hear me now? Good. Really good at this. This microphone, every time I touch it, it mutes itself. So, anyway. All right. Let's go back. Sounds like clickbait. It's not clickbait. I do owe an apology. All right. So, here we go. Where was the other one? For what? Okay. So the previous live stream, I talked about this, the previous live stream is now privated. Okay. So I took it down. The crux of that video was about me trying to figure out if I should be upset or not about Arenal using me in one of their ads. And my agent contacted me and says, "Hey, did you give Arenal permission?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe." Usually when somebody asks, I just say, "Yes, go ahead. Use a clip, put it in your video, put it in your ad, whatever." Anyway, I went back and looked at the emails and I could not find where I gave them permission. So I told my agent, "Listen, I couldn't find it." He sent an email to them saying, Randy couldn't find, I can't remember what the exact email was, but the basically was, "Hey, Randy didn't find that he gave you permission. Can you take the ad down?" or something like that. And then that went on for 2 emails because we didn't get a response. And then we did get a response that says, "Okay, we'll take them off the ad," which led me to believe, okay, I probably didn't give them permission. Anyway, fast forward to this morning, I got an email from Arendal's head of marketing with a receipt that was my email that did give them permission. So I owe Arendal an apology. I am sorry. Making that video was wrong. At the time that I made the video, I did not know that I gave them permission to use me in that ad. I did give them permission, and that's why I'm doing this live stream today, because I want to make things right. I owe them an amends, and this is it. And I've learned a valuable lesson, and that is not to air grievances in the public forum. Okay. Because I know myself, I have enough self awareness to realize that I am often wrong. And I was wrong in this case. So, Arendal, I apologize for any of the negativity that surrounded the last live stream. So, I'm hoping that this will set the record straight and that we can put this behind us. And it wasn't like I was just kind of talking about what was going on and where my head was at. But yeah, I need to understand that, like, I have I have people that are going to watch, and regardless if I say this is what's going on, it's still going to paint a negative picture of a company. So, in any regard, I was wrong, and I'm sorry. And yeah. Anyway, that's about it. I mean, I don't know what else to say, um, except that I should have kept my big mouth shut about it. So yeah, the ad is so annoying. Yes, I was a naughty boy. Good for you, Rainey. It takes a man to man up. Well, I'm not trying to get any points here. I'm really trying to just make things right and do what um, I would hope somebody else would do. Um, Canceled. Rip YouTube career. Um, could be. I could be canceled. Um, Damn, I missed everything. Here's the deal. Ancient Aliens, the last live stream I did where I talked about Arenal using my clip from my video in their ad, and I said that I didn't give them permission, or I couldn't find that I gave them permission. Well, Arenal did find it and emailed me, and so I owe Arenal an apology because I did give them permission to use the clip. And yeah, that's not what I meant. What'd you mean? Oh, okay. It takes a man to man up. Anyway, nice to see someone that's big enough to say they were wrong. Good on you. Well, thank you. But again, I'm not trying to. Anyway, I just I feel really bad about it, and in the back of my mind, because I get a ton of emails every day, and it drives everything down, and then I'll look at an email and be okay, I need to respond to that. And then I'll come back later and again, just buried in emails. And so I was thinking to myself, like I said in the live stream, the previous one, I probably, if they asked, I would have given them permission. Well, they did ask and I did give them permission. And when I reread the email that Arenal sent to me, I don't even remember writing it. But it was very quick response. I said, sure, go for it, or something like that. And I'm like, that does look like me, because that's how I respond to emails a lot of the time. So yeah. Anyway, it's a sign you are doing well if in the clutter of activity it slipped your mind to whom you granted permission. Or it's a sign that I'm terrible at emails and I need to get better and create some type of some type of like something where I don't miss valuable emails. Yeah. Why don't you just pin the important emails to the top of the list? Because I'm terrible. That's why I don't work in corporate America anymore. I was terrible at emails in corporate America. I'm terrible at emails now. But I need to put some programs in place to make sure that I don't miss good stuff. So yeah, don't sweat it. I feel bad. Because not everybody that watched that live stream, which it got a lot of views, that live stream for a live stream for me, not everybody that watched that live stream is going to watch this live stream, which means there's going to be people out there that may have a negative may see Arenal in a negative way. Okay. And so that's what I feel bad about still. And I will feel bad about it. Maybe I need to do more videos for Arenal because I really like their speakers. I think their speakers are awesome. And I even said that in the previous live stream. I'm like, I love their speakers. I thought they were great. Crap happens. Who remembers everything? Keep up the good work. Love your channel. Thank you, Mike C. I got an Indians hat on. I missed the other stream. Oh, good. Good. Buy some high quality speakers from Arenal. I'm sure you'll be forgiven, but I feel it is good to leave a scar. No, I agree because you get better by the mistakes that you make, not by the successes that you have. Leave this up and change title referencing Arenal. Perfect. I love it. That's a great idea. Great idea. Well, now you have the answer to your question from the last video. No, you should not be mad. There you go. Perfect. Never heard of Arenal, so backdoor promo pays off. Yeah, that's what it was. This was just a plan to give Arenal some more publicity. Anyway, do a retraction video. This is it. This is the retraction video. I'm stating that I retracted the other video. And the reason why I retracted the other video is because I was wrong and I owe Arenal an apology. You should do another good video about them without losing your honesty. Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't think any of their speakers are bad. I didn't love their subwoofer. It was good looking subwoofer. I thought it was overpriced, but I had two of their speakers in, one of which was discontinued, and it was more affordable, and I love that speaker. And then I had the 1723 Monitor S's in, and like that speaker, I think made like the best speaker of the year list or something like that. I got a new Certina. Love it. Awesome. Randy is a man of extraordinary gratitude. I try to be. Sometimes I forget that I should be. But yes, I try to be. But it's good that you're being the bigger person and admitting that you made the mistake. Well, yeah, I guess. They called me on it. They had the receipts. So yeah. Q150 and 350 on sale at Crutchfield. Good. That's the only time you should buy those speakers. And those are the best. Those are the two best speakers that Kef makes, in my opinion. I'm waiting for that backlash. Hopefully, I won't ever have to make a Kef apology video. Well, it's no secret that the best thing about secrets is secretly telling someone your secret, thereby adding another secret to your secret collection of secrets secretly. I love that. I watched this video about quantum computing and how there will be no secrets when quantum computing kind of happens, because all the security like things that people have in place for digital stuff is going to be cracked by quantum computing. You were right about the ELAC DB63S though. What is that? Debut 63S? Is that the new one, or is that the debut reference? You own your mistakes and learn from them, which boosts your integrity and value in my eyes and ears. Keep up your great content and retain your humility. It's very endearing to me. All the best. Thank you, Simon. I try to work on my humility. Hey, folks, are the recently released Q Acoustics 3020C worth buying? I don't know, but I think I got a pair on the way to me. So we shall be able to talk about that in much more detail. This is one of my favorite coffee mugs ever. I got this in Roswell, New Mexico, which, by the way, if anybody gets the opportunity to go to Roswell, New Mexico, it's a very small town, but you need to go to the UFO museum. It's pretty cool. Actually, this coffee mug was at a friend's house for like over a year, and then I got it back. Does your beautiful bounty of facial hair enable super audiophone powers as mine does? No, it does not. I'm getting a haircut and a beard trim tomorrow, though. So hopefully this will be a little bit more well-behaved. Say 10 Hail Marys and 5 Our Fathers, and you'll be good. I'll have to look those up. I'm not Catholic, but I should do that. The contents of everyone's minds will be on disk when quantum computers take over. Yep. I don't know. My wife tells me I'm on a different planet all of the time. I don't know. I don't know what your relationship looks like. My wife and I just had kind of an interesting conversation about things. I was telling her about, like, right before I went live, I was telling her kind of the situation. And she's like, well, got to make things right. And I said, you're right. Great to see you like Mexico, Randy. You're welcome anytime. Rodrigo, there he is. I need to go back to Mexico. That's the basis of a Netflix show called Sleeved. Ooh, I like that. Has anybody seen that? There's a show that came out years ago, actually, called Devs. Starred the guy from, he's super funny. Ron Swanson, the guy that played Ron Swanson. Anyway, he starred in the show Devs, which is on Hulu. And it's a fantastic show. And it's kind of ahead of its time, I think. You have been ignored. Enrique Padilla. I don't know what that means. You have the most advanced biologic supercomputer right inside your head, and it runs on potato chips and Swiss cake rolls. Yep. Did you ever see any UAP on the submarine? No, because the submarine has no windows. So nobody can see anything on the submarine. Nobody. It's all just, it's basically like you're in a power plant and you're just rolling along. So yeah. And it's dark down there because we were deep. So even if we did have a window, we wouldn't be able to see anything. Swiss cake rolls are the nitrous oxide of brain fuels. I completely agree. I need to quit buying them though. Me and my daughters absolutely love Swiss cake rolls, and so they don't last long. Nearly a year ago, I found your channel and finally got away from the home theater in a box. I'm replacing a Yamaha AVR with an Onkyo RZ50. Very nice. Very, very nice. Devs is awesome. That's my favorite TV show ever. I kind of felt like I knew where they were going, and then it was still a great show. Fantastic show. Love it. USS, unidentified sonic signature. I was not a sonar guy. I was just a monkey wrench guy. back in the engine room. Yeah, that was Nick Offerman. It was a great show. Love it. I think I'm going to rewatch it. No windows and no screen doors on the sub. Not making that mistakes again. Yeah. What? Ron hit 100,000 subscribers. Congrats to NRD. Ron, that's wonderful. I'm so happy. I'm going to text him right now. Dun, dun, dun. Text Ron. Dude, congratulations on 100,000. I love you. You're the man. There we go. Do you ever see the bilge monster? No, but I was sometimes down in the bilge, and someone could have said that I was the bilge monster. Yeah. The bilge monster. My dad was a Navy mechanic in the late 50s and the early 60s. That's very cool. I was trained as a mechanic. That was my main job, but I really did chemistry. So I did all the chemistry on the reactor and the secondary steam generating system as well. Yeah. So, and occasionally they call it kick the watch. So occasionally I'd stay in a mechanic's watch section so that people could get kind of a little bit of time off. I was on a boomer, USS Nevada, SSBN 733. Yeah. Hold on, we got a Little Debbie. Little Debbie and PepsiCo have killed more people than Philip Morris. You're probably right about that. I was 0311. Very cool. I don't know what that was. It NEC? What is that? NEC, right? Joe Carpenter. I don't know what 0311 is. I forget. This was over 20 years ago. I'm glad you saw my intro, but I wasn't fast enough for the actual question to be seen. I don't know what that means either. Diabetes. Good morning. Congrats to NRD. Just saw you're at 290,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Thank you. Barry Sullivan, my man. Oh, infantry. Duh. 0311. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Marine Corps. Thank you for your service, my friend. The real man. How can we submit topic ideas for you to cover? You can submit them here. Chances are, though, I'm not going to see them. But if it's a really good one, I'm going to write it down right here on this Post-it note. In a case, that's how actually Ancient Aliens right here, this guy, Ancient Aliens, came up with one of the best video ideas I've had in a long time. And that video, I think it's pushing 500,000 views at this point. So if you have a video idea topic, you can put it right here. You're welcome, man. Anytime. I got paid. Whenever anybody says thank you for your service, I always kind of feel weird because I had a good time. I'm like, you're welcome. I got paid though. Like the government thanked me for my service. And everybody's tax dollars did, because that's fundamentally how I got paid. Thoughts on the late. Now I still paid taxes, so I paid other people's taxes. Thoughts on the largest Gen Q KFQ versus previous gen. I listened to the concertos, which is another story in and of itself, and another little bit of a drama. I had a retailer send me some of the new KEF, not the R3, KEF concertos, which is a 3-way speaker, concentric driver for the mid-range and tweeter on top, and then a woofer. I didn't like them. I don't like certain KEF speakers. They sounded very similar to the LS50, and I just didn't love them. So, and after I did that video, I talked to the retailer, and they're saying we shouldn't have sent those to you, and that KEF doesn't want us to send speakers to reviewers. So, anyway, yeah. Provide a topic idea with super thanks and appreciation. That will get it. I'll definitely see that. Will we see you review giants? That would make the term giant killer more trustworthy. Yeah. You got to understand, like, all these titles that I do are all hyperbolic. Wish they didn't have to be, but that's how people watch. Now, I try to dance the line between clickbait and hyperbole, but I've tried to do straight titles and they just don't work. But there are some good titles that aren't particularly clickbait-ish that I've worked in the past, but trust me, I look at the data. I look at my titles, I look at the past videos, and yeah. I would say when I'm using the term giant killer, I'm basically talking about products that cost much more. So like they're giant as far as like their price goes. So yeah. Cambridge Amplifier or Advanced Paris? Well, it depends, I guess. Depends on your budget. So there is the EXN 100, I think. I think that comes in around $2,200. Or the Advanced Paris A10 Classic, which comes in around $2,500. They're both great. Advanced Paris has got a little bit better look. It's got a nice look to it. So yeah, they both sound great though. I like both of them. Cambridge though doesn't have tone controls, and it doesn't have as many features as the A10 Classic. But I would not I would not be sad if I could only have one amplifier and it was Cambridge. I came from CES, funny enough. Jordan Coleman. Did you have something else? Have I missed super chats? No. It's good that I haven't got any super chats. I don't deserve to make money off of this video because it's an apology video. Did you go to sub school in Groton? No, I did not, because I was a nuke. Nukes don't go to sub school. At least they didn't when I was in. They may go to sub school now. But nukes did not go to sub school. Hyperbole for fun and profit. Yeah. Took the bus bar and put my sub on an extension cord and fixed it. Cool. Yeah, I understand. I'd love to see you review high-end gear anyway, because I'd like to know your thoughts on them. I think it'd be interesting for viewers too. You know, that's another slippery slope, because sometimes when I review something that's more expensive, I get a lot of hate in the comments. Like, you're not the cheap audio man anymore. I see that all the time. And so you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, How can I know how good an affordable product is unless I have a fair number of quote unquote more expensive products in or expensive products in? So that's the only way that I'm really going to know that something is particularly good. But the longer I do this, the more I kind of just figure out that everything is a little bit different and everything has a bit of a different flavor. And it's almost like food, right? Now, granted, if you get cheeseburger from McDonald's versus a cheeseburger from a really high end place with really good beef, they're both cheeseburgers, and chances are the one that's the more expensive one is going to be the one that's better. But yeah, I occasionally review stuff that's more expensive. All right. What's your opinion on this? Is it worth buying a stereo amplifier? I currently listen to music in stereo through my AVR. I think that depends on um, how much like TV and movie watching you do versus how much. Basically, where are your priorities? Are your priorities with TV, or are your and movies, or are your priorities with 2-channel stereo? With that said, there are some really good receivers out there that sound really, really good for music too. It's just that most don't. Most don't sound good with straight up music, with the exception of, like, I think Marantz sounds pretty good with music. Um, yeah. Don't forget to donate to celebrities. Throwing up money. What do you think of the Yamaha? I don't know that one. I haven't had a Yamaha in for a long time. Andrew Robinson just had some B&O speakers in for 150. Think they did quite well, even though his audience most likely won't be shopping for those. No, I get it. His audience is a little bit different than mine. Like, he never went into this like just. I mean, cheap audio man it's in the title of the channel, so he's always like looked at higher end stuff. So I get it. Previous message. We're going to get it. See, here's the problem. Like, Jordan, next message you put in here, include whatever your first message was, because there's no way I can come back and find the previous message. I can't sort by person. So whatever your question is, drop it into the next comment you make. I love tone controls. I do too. B&Os were stunning. Yeah, they're cool looking for sure. Groton for weld school here. Nice, Carl. Are you an underwater welder? Those guys can make some cash. Cheap is relative, because they can make cash because it's incredibly dangerous. I was there, airborne. Very nice. Were you ever in Norfolk, Virginia? I was not. I was in Bangor Submarine Base, which is in Silverdale, Washington, or north of Silverdale, or south. I can't remember. North of Bremerton. I remember that for sure. So that's where I was on the subs at. But I was also stationed in Orlando when they had a base there. South Carolina, which is actually the weapons station, which is not quote unquote Charleston, but it is South Carolina. And then Bangor, Washington. And then I did a little bit of time in Bremerton, but I lived on base housing. And then Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places. And then Pensacola, Florida. I was in Norfolk, lived in Portsmouth. Are you going to the Tampa Audio Show? I am not, unfortunately. I went last year. Oh, look at this. Ron, new record day. Thanks for the text, Brozilla. I love you. I love you, buddy. Congratulations, everybody. Round of applause for Ron. 100K, getting his plaque. Yay, Ron. Could not happen to a better guy. Ron dropping $20. I need to drop you $20. Wonderful. Ron, I am super excited for you. Love it. I love it. What sub would you recommend to complement the Emotiva XB2s and the TA1? Probably the USS Nevada, SSBN 733. Just kidding. XB2s, TA1s. I like SVS SB1000 Pro because it's not super expensive and it has an app. Comes in at $600 though. If that's too high for your budget, look at RSL subs. They have one that comes in at $300, and I think it's a beast at $300. So for sure, yes. Once you said, bro, that you have zero experience with BMW or Star Trek design, CD, how can I send yo perfectly work at, okay. I don't know what that means, but someone else dropped a big super chat. Ben Chesser, 1999, loving the Schiit Saga 2 with Forkbeard. Any upcoming reviews, Cam? Yeah, I actually have the Wotan Forkbeard enabled, as well as the Kara Forkbeard enabled. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for being a patron too. Patreon. Hey, Randy, is there any graphic EQs you can recommend for hi-fi system, or is it better to use the tone controls? Well, there's a couple of things. The Weem has 10-band EQ in it, and it has parametric. You can get, I don't know why I'm touching this because there's no EQ here. You can get the Loki or Loki-S from Schiit. They also make a big one. There's a few other EQs out there that you can get. I would say, though, if you have one in your receiver or amplifier, just use it there. There's certain things about using a digital EQ with headroom and things like that, but I don't know. Most of the time, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. But if you're doing an EQ it below the 0 dB point. So if anything, you're cutting things. So get whatever EQ curve you like, and then bring the peaks down to 0. So overall, you're cutting frequencies instead of boosting frequencies. Because if you boost frequencies, then you can increase like distortion and stuff like that. Thanks for your responses. Maybe a not so cheap audio man side channel, but it sucks that the audience is toxic at times. It's not that. I mean, overall, the audience is great on everything, but I do get the occasional. You're not the cheap audio man. Or the best one is when I do something cheap, you're like, this is garbage. You should do more expensive stuff. So you always get, you're not going to make everyone happy all the time. I cannot believe what a change super tweeters have made to my system. They can be cool. They can be fun. You can pick up 90 stuff really cheap. Old NAC and NAD had pre-outs, so you can upgrade the amp later. I love that. A lot of Emotiva stuff has preamp outs too. Any idea for a video, or maybe an idea, best of cheap class D versus a good affordable class AB, like Audiolab? I don't know, man. Like, I think the Audiolab's like $1,000. Yes. Cheap class D versus affordable. There is a bunch of affordable ABs though. Cambridge AXA 2535, the Yamaha AX 305 or 350, 305, I think. Then there's, I think, the Sony STDHR or something like that. I think that's a class AB. Maybe put yourself in the middle and call yourself the reasonably priced audio man. Maybe so. I was thinking of getting DBX 231 dual band 31 channel EQ. That'd be pretty cool. Do you believe in the whole 432 hertz frequency thing? I'm not familiar with that. What is the 432 frequency thing? I don't know. I love the channel. Just wondering your thoughts on receivers. What's better for music listening, vintage receivers or modern receivers? It depends on it always depends, right? So it depends on what shape the vintage receiver is in. And vintage receivers are very similar to, current integrated amplifiers where they all sound a little bit different. So a Macintosh sounds different than a Kenwood, which sounds different than a Marantz, which sounds different than a Pioneer, which sounds different than a Yamaha. I love vintage receivers, but I've never really had a good experience with any of them because they're 50 years old or 40 years old or however many years old they are. I mean, you get a 76, that's 48 years old. And you're going to have to change out some caps. Those caps probably aren't going to be within tolerances that they had. So, I don't know. Now, when you say receivers, I'm really talking about integrated amplifiers, because when I hear receiver, I think home theater receivers. And as a rule, or at least in my experience, home theater receivers don't ever sound as good as two-channel integrated amps. Even like the worst two-channel integrated amp, or ones that I don't like, to me sound better than like an Onkyo or a Pioneer. With the caveat of, when I ran DRAC on a Pioneer receiver, it sounded pretty good. And then I adjusted some things in there. So you can make a home theater receiver sound pretty good if you get in there and start messing around with things. Yeah. Video idea. Best cheap amp for streaming audio into a multi-room system. That would be the Weem amp. For sure. Woo! It's bitter. Bitter. Happy Tuesday, Brock. Here we go. My question from earlier is, did you hear about Onkyo getting back into making high-end separates, power amp, preamp, and streaming integrated amp? That's cool. I didn't know that. I'm happy to know that. That makes me happy on the inside. For sure. Best sounding baby monitor. All right. Little speaker. Baby monitor. Are you talking about the ones where you like watch your kid in the crib? I don't know if that's my channel. Oh, I think I missed a super chat. Here we go. Fruit Guy, $2.99. Thank you, Fruit Guy, too. Very much. Daniel Walsh, $5. Topic suggestion. What's the deal with tube amplifiers? Modern and vintage. Reasons to love them and reasons to hate them. I don't like tube amps. Really, any of them. I do like the Vance Paris A10 Classic has tubes on the preamp section. And I do like that. I think it sounds pretty good. I don't like tube power amps. I think they're terrible. Just terrible. But I also think that's because I like a certain style of music. And generally speaking, I like to have the forceful bass of a solid state amplifier. But yeah. The reasons to love them is because they have they have even order harmonics and can make things seem very ethereal and big. Do I still have my ZA3s? I do. They're on my, oh, here's one. Here's one right here. And it has a piece of painter's tape on it. Come on. Focus. There we go. Yeah. I still have them. Still like them a lot. Have I heard of E-Post speakers? I have not. What do I think of hybrid tube matched with solid state? I like it. I like it a lot. That's what's on my Advanced Paris A10 Classic. That's what's also on the Unico Primo from, not Opera, Unison Research. It has a tube in the front end too. Oh, hold on. Monitor audio radius for baby monitor. There you go. Been using a Schiit Moni 3 for a couple of years. Is there a non-lateral move option from Gishelli Labs without jumping up to the Daisy? Yeah, I think the J3 or a J2 with the 4499 chipset is going to be a big step up from the Modi, in my opinion, for sure. And that the J3 comes in around $5 something. The 4499 is going to be more expensive, but it's going to be like that $500 price point. And the Daisy is like, more, $1,200 or so. Just got in. Did I miss much? Nope. Here's the synopsis for people just joining. I did a live stream talking about how I believe that Arenal used a clip of my video in their ad without permission, or at least I didn't remember giving them permission. Turns out that I did give them permission, and I wanted to apologize to them because the video was kind of basically me kind of complaining and whining about how I didn't think they gave me permission and whether or not I should be mad about it. But I did give that to them, which I thought I probably did. I just couldn't remember. So that's the crux of this video, is an apology to Arenal for making the previous one. So yeah. Best desktop headphone DAC / preamp under $200. Okay. I don't know if it's under 200, but it's close. I think it'd be the SMSL DL100, maybe. I think that's about $179. Has some Cirrus Logic chips in it. I think it sounds great. Has some baked in EQs. Very good. Has single-ended and balanced outputs. I don't know if they're true balanced, but anyway, that's the one I would probably get if that's your budget. DL. There's also the SMSL SMSL M300 SE. That's an older one, but it's really cheap. I think it's like $110. Have you heard the Kali Audio 6.2 dual sub? Thinking I'm buying one. No, I'm not a sub guy. I don't know much about subwoofers, but I've heard a lot of great things about Kali Audio. What do I think about the Klipsch RB81-2 speakers? I think that is a previous generation, couple generations old, 8-inch woofer. I don't think I ever had those. But if you can get them for a treat and you like the Klipsch sound, I bet they're awesome. Would you agree that the most difficult music genre to get a good recording is classical music? I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge classical music fan. I would imagine that it probably would be because there's so many different variables. You don't have one vocalist and then 2 guitars, a bass, and drums. I mean, you got a lot more than that. So I would think probably yes. That would be $600. You purchased 6 pairs. I think you got a good deal. Just got back from the thrift store and they had a Sony 7.1 channel receiver for $10. I don't know why people buy those IEMA Fozzy SMSL Class D Chi-Fi amps over a used AVR unless it's for desktop. Probably because they can't find a used receiver. Now, I bet if you put that thing on a bench and you put some of the Class D amps, especially the 3255s with a 48 volt 5 or 10 amp power supply, I bet it would outperform that. But it's not going to outperform it for $10. So I think if people have the time, the access, and the inclination to go on a hunt and find something used, then absolutely, you can get a great deal for one. You can also get ripped off. You can get mugged, and you might find something that blows up the next day. Same could happen with the Class D amplifier, but at least you could do a return. But yeah, for sure. If you can find a used receiver, or better yet, a used integrated amplifier, then yeah, do that. I don't necessarily think it's going to sound better. Actually, if this is, I heard a Sony 7-channel amp and it sounded absolutely abysmal for music. Absolutely terrible. Thin, not dynamic, was bad. But yeah, there's some stuff you can find. I have a good pawn shop find. I love a good pawn shop find. I don't blame you. New in box, old stock. Very cool. Secondhand is awesome. I got Focal Diablo Utopia Color Evos. That's a big name for $6.5K, including stands. Whew. Very nice. That's when I really would look into used stuff, is if you can get used current stuff. And the music room offers, like, you can go to the music room and they offer used stuff and you can trade in stuff too. I think as long as it's like within their wheelhouse. And you get a bit of a guarantee. So especially like super expensive stuff, like I would say anything like north of $2,000, definitely look at buying used. And you can go to like US Audio Mart and some other places to find decent used expensive stuff. The music room has tons of good stuff. Yeah. You ever sampled any Rotel integrated amps? Yes. Okay, let me think here. What was that? Wasn't the A10. There was one that was like a kind of a limited edition. Maybe it was the A8. Maybe it was the A10. I've had 2 or 3 of them in. I like Rotel. Very, very clean sounding. I like them. And the one that I had, the phono stage, was next level. Like the phono stage was as good as a $500 phono stage that I had, which was the was that a Rotel too? No, that was a Project. It was a Project $2. But yeah, Rotel's good. Very good. One of the things that I didn't like about Rotel integrated amps, the more affordable ones, is it didn't have a subwoofer output or preamp outputs, but it still sounded great. Totem, I've never heard any. Never heard a Totem speaker. SMSL M300 Mark II is a good upgraded to Chord Cutis, not night and day, but warmer and wider with better darkness between instruments. I run with MCRU linear power supply. Oh, nice. I like a good linear power supply. All right, sealed versus ported versus passive radiators. Do you have a preference? No, because none of them sound the same. You can have 2 ported speakers that sound remarkably different. So it just depends on the manufacturer. I don't think there's a lot of passive radiator products out there because they're more expensive to make. I don't think there's a lot of sealed speakers out there because people don't get the same bass extension for the same size. So most of the time, most speakers are ported, and I think it has to do with costs as well as customer expectations. So yeah. Possible topic: garage systems. I put a Fozzy BT30D and some cheap speakers in the garage, and it really rocks. That is a good idea. Garage systems. Garage systems. All right. I do not like passive radiators for some reason. Though, I think what was the one I had in? I think I had a Golden Sound. I always get Golden Ear and Golden Sound mixed up. It was the BRX, something like that. Had 2 passive radiators. I like that. That's pretty good. But that's right. The A11 the A11 Tribute. That's right. So I was right. A11. So they have the A10, A11. I think the A10 does not have a DAC in it. A11 did have a DAC in it. And then I had the A11 Mark II. So I had the A11 Tribute and the A11 Mark II. Current garage system: Wii Mini, BT20A Pro, and Numi. Very nice. Buchard uses passive radiators, and they're awesome. That's right. I did have some Buchard. They're expensive, though. Buchard's expensive, in my opinion. I know people like them. Speaker Shootout XB1 and Kanto. I don't have any Kantos in. I think I actually do have. There's something right behind me. After this, I'm going to open it up. Love your channel. What do you think of the Audio Technica LV120 plus Fozzy Box X2 plus Fozzy ZA3 plus Debut 3 DB63? I think that's awesome, except for the Audio Technica LP120. I think that thing's a plastic POS. Feels like a toy. I was like super excited. There was an Amazon Prime Day or something like that. to where there's an LP 120 for $100 off. So usually it costs $350. I got it for $250. I got it in, and like I was so disgusted with it. First of all, the internal phono preamp sounds like complete and utter garbage. But I was so disgusted with the build quality that I gave it away. Like I did a video on it and I gave it away almost immediately. If you're looking at the LP 120, I would look at something from Fluence or from U-Turn. Fluence, you're going to get some of the same features like a removable head shell, but I mean, a Fluence, whatever the price you're going to pay, like see what you can find for an equivalent Fluence at the same price, and you're going to get a much better table. I was really disappointed in the Audio Technica. Everything else looks awesome. What op amps do you have in the ZA3? I have one is stock, whatever it came with, and then one is the Sparkos, whatever one works in the Sparkos, or whatever Sparkos works in the ZA3. That's what I have. So yeah, and they do make a difference. Something like a Fluence RT85 turntable or some older high-end turntable like Trans. Be careful with older turntables though. There's a lot of moving parts on a turntable. Just make sure that you're getting it from someone that's reputable, or it's like not so old that you can't get parts for it. Any thoughts on sharing viewers' cheap systems? I've thought about that, and I think I got some pictures of some people's. I don't know, like I don't think it did very well or something, or I don't think there was a lot of interest in it. All right. One more time. Sorry, I'm late to the show. What is your apology? I'm apologizing to Arenal because the last live stream I did was based around Arenal. I thought Arenal used a clip of my video in one of their ads without asking me. And it turns out they did ask me, and I did give them permission. I had just forgotten that I gave them permission. And so I talked to their head of marketing over email, and he sent me the email that they got permission from me from. And so I told him, like, I apologized for that. And then I said I was going to make it right by doing a live stream. So this is it. This is my attempt to make amends and make it right with Arenal. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the reason. I really like my RT85. I think that is the best deal you can get in a turntable. For sure. Although if you're into direct drive, well, RT85 is belt driven. Looking for center channels. Any recommendation? I would stick with whatever your front channels are because they're going to be voice matched, which I don't know. There was one situation where I didn't have the same center channel as my front channels, and like it was distracting. It sounded so different, but most of the time you can't really hear that big of a difference. But the rule of thumb is whatever brand your front channels are, try to get the center channel from that same era. Ideally from the same line. So like if you have an RP600M, get the Klipsch center, the RP whatever center channel from that same vintage. Bursons sound amazing in the BT28 Pro as long as you don't put the case on. Yeah, there's some other there's like a V5i Burson that I didn't love. Little tiny one. It was super warm. But I think the Vivids and some of the other stuff from Burson sound really good. Totem speakers used to use the Dyne audio drivers, as did Wilson. That's cool. I've heard nothing but good things about Totem. Riga, I still run my faultless planar 3 with the AT-OC3 MC and Riga Phono MC I bought in the turntable in 1985. Still runs faultless. Very nice. Very cool. Very cool. I respect you. You're an honest cat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Scott Baylor. Everyone makes mistakes and you owned it. We need more of that in this world. Onward and upward. Thank you, Scott. Still feel bad. I knew in the back of my mind that if they asked, I said yes. I just couldn't find where they asked. Wouldn't it have to be a whole episode of cheap systems, perhaps a cheap system per episode at the end? Yeah, that is a cool idea. Good on you for saying you were wrong once. I've said I was wrong more than once. About a couple of things. SVS Prime Center Channel, Cole Cooper. There you go. I put the OPA 1656 and the L and R on the ZA3, and then the crappy little JRC 4580 and the XLR socket sounds so natural. Really made me love those amps. I like those amps quite a bit. My intro to Cheap Audio Man was through Cheap Watchman. Any upcoming content coming to the Watch channel? Go Big Red. Thank you. JB in Lincoln? I was just in Lincoln right before I got stuck in Kansas. No. There's a story behind that. But no more watch videos, unfortunately. So there's some drama on that channel too. So anyway, yeah. Thanks, Audio Man, for all the wisdom and advice. Have a good one. Thank you. Randy, a few picks for songs or albums that stand out to you in 2024. Any particular releases that meet your approval? No, but I just Linkin Park had a new release, which I bought on CD when I was in Lincoln, Nebraska. I haven't listened to it yet, so I might listen to that today. I need to start watching Cheap Watchman channel. I hear it's pretty cool. Love my Psycho 5s. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not putting any more videos up on there. So there's some decent ones up there. If you would buy bookshelf speakers for home cinema today, what would you buy? It depends on my price point. I like the new Elax. I like the Emotiva XB1s quite a bit. What else do I like? It really depends on budget because both of those are kind of around the $450 or $500 price point. I love Sonus Faber Lumina 2 Amateurs. Those are expensive though. They're like $1,500. Arenal. Arenal makes great bookshelf speakers today too. Especially for home cinema because some of them are THX or all of them are THX, something like that. So yeah, there you go. Arenal, Sonus Faber, Emotiva, Elac, SVS, the Prime. I like those a lot too. All right, 1528 review anytime. I think I'm going to buy some of those debut 3.0s. Yeah. Love the new Linkin Park. Very cool. I gotta listen to it. I'll probably just stream it, but I do have the CD. Q Acoustics. Oh yeah, Q Acoustics. The 5000 series. Awesome. Awesome. I was really impressed by the new top of the line. Yeah, the something Evolution. The Evo Evolution? Is that it? Prime Evolution? Yeah. They're very like I got like B&W vibes and like Focal vibes from them. There you go. Arenal 1528 bookshelves are effing insane. I don't have those in. Maybe we can like bury the hatchet underneath a mended fence and I can get the 1528s in. Ultra Evolution. There we go. I love Linkin Park when Chester was still here, but I've not heard the new stuff at all yet. Yeah, that's a problem. Like same thing with Alice in Chains. Although Alice in Chains put out an album and it was really good. I know the relationship is in shambles, but I hope you can get the 1528s. I don't know if it's in shambles. He was really cool. The head of marketing is really cool about it. And like, that's why we're here. So, you know, if we never talked again, then yeah, but I anticipate that this will, I mean, here's the deal with this stuff, right? is you like people's attention spans are super short. So if I would have never made this video, the people that are watching, there'd be certain people that would remember, I had something to do with Arenal. But hopefully, whoever watched that, at least some of the people are watching this. And then I'm going to leave this one up. And since it's got a bit of a hyperbolic title, chances are people are going to watch it. And then, hopefully, whatever damage that I did by talking about inaccurate information. But I was fairly I never said they didn't ask me. I said I couldn't find whether or not they asked me. And if they didn't ask, anyway, I was reading between the lines a little bit. So hopefully we've mended the fence, or I've mended the fence. I've tried to clean up my side of the street. So, and that's all I can do. Mildly disheveled. That's right. And a little annoyed. I'm sure they're a little annoyed at me. But hopefully this makes things better. They have a girl singing now, don't they? Or is it someone else? Lincoln Park. I thought they had a girl singing. So does Arenal still have your video clip up? I don't know, but they can obviously keep it up. So, yeah. They have a girl singing now, don't they? Or is it someone else? Lincoln Park. I think they have a girl singing now. I watched the one the other day, and I'm watching this one now. All right. I'll remember the apology and hope the fence is mended. Very cool. Yes, new lead is female. Are there any good, cheap, flat speakers? I need some for a tight space. Are you talking about frequency response, or are you talking about like depth? ELAC had some really thin ones, like on-wall speakers, on-wall. But I think it was a previous generation. Derek, yes, a girl surrounded by controversies. New Lincoln Park singer sounds awesome. Wow, that super chat, Randy. Wow, that was a super chat, Randy. Yes, thank you, Derek Christensen, very much, my friend. Depth, yeah, on wall. Yeah, look at ELAC made some. I don't know if they're still made, and I think it was a previous generation because I don't think they sold very well. But you can just look at on-wall speakers and see which ones are still out there. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. There's not a ton of them anymore. Henchman Wright, 1999. Thank you so much. New singer somehow connected to 70s show guy in prison. Huh. I love VU meters too. What are you feeling recently in the $100-ish Chinese amp space? Looking to get into hi-fi, but too many options. So I like the Fuzzy Audio ZA3. That comes in on sale around $130, but $150-ish retail. The Ayima A07 Max comes in around $90. That's a good one. And then you can use that as a mono amplifier too. You can change out the op amps. Those are the two I'd look at. I'm gonna have to watch rewind for context. I'll give you one more time just to make anybody that's joining late. So last live stream I did, I thought Arenal had used one of my clips from my video without asking permission. And I was kind of whining about it. And then I talked about some other stuff with Arenal. Anyway, they did ask for permission. I gave it to them. And they brought that to my attention. And I'm making this as an apology. How I shouldn't have done that. And I took the last live stream down. So yeah. That's it. I'm on. This is an apology tour. And I am truly sorry for doing that because I said over and over again, if they'd asked, I would have said yes. And I don't remember whether or not I said yes. And now I still don't remember, but I see the email and I'm 100% certain that I said yes. So yeah, that's the dealio. Spectrum analyzers. I love spectrum analyzers. There's the IEMA A80 has a spectrum analyzer on it. It's really cool. It's fun. It's fun. Magnat Transpulse are pretty slim-ish. Wharfdale Linton. Well, I mean, if he's a tight space, Wharfdale Linton's for the size is not super deep, but it's still a big speaker. Yeah, that's it. I watched the last live stream too. Thanks. Yeah, I messed up. I should have remembered. Anyway, we've been at this for an hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to call it a day. Again, wanted to just apologize to Arenal for making a mountain out of a molehill and not seeing that I'd given them permission. So, yes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for understanding too. And, still being nice to me, even though I messed up. So anyway, have a great week. Actually going out of the country next week. So there's going to be some videos from overseas. That'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, congratulations to Ron over at New Record Day for hitting 100,000 subscribers. Awesome. All right. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.